Hi guys, Legend World 101 here once again, bringing you another video reaction. I'm going to do a little discussion afterwards as well. So, let's get into this. Basically what we're talking about is, are comic books overpriced? To be honest, I haven't bought a comic book in so long. Because this Marvel and DC stuff, even Marvel, not stuff with Marvel DC. I just haven't got into it since they keep rebooting stuff. This is new with this is new with that. It's the new version of this is the new version of that. There's too much of that going on, too much reboots going on, man, even in the comic book world. It's just like in real life, it's happening in the comic book world, and it's annoying the heck out of me. That's why I don't really read comic books anymore. I really read stuff like this, or like massive like graphic novels that are just like one-offs and that. Stuff like this, stuff like, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. I just read books now. That's all I do, man. Or like one-off graphic novels. That's all I read. Literally, that is it. For reasons like reboots, stuff like that, there's just too much stuff going on. I used to be a good comic book reader, like a top comic book reader. Literally, I used to read Spider-Man when I was younger. I used to follow it religiously until I just thought basically got too expensive. The money started going up. I was like, nah, I can't keep this habit up. I can't do it. It got too pricey for me. And to be fair, comic books are getting pricey now. To be fair, to keep up with, and plus with all these like stuff that they keep doing, keep changing them up and stuff like that. Especially if you're a Marvel and DC fan, I feel sorry for you. Because especially if you're a comic book collector, then I feel sorry for you. You're gonna be broke at some point if you keep it up. If you know what I mean, if you're consistently following these comic book runs. But yeah, on my side, I say they are overpriced. I say they are. For what they are now, they are overpriced. But anyway, let's see. Literally, I got this this woman here called DANNPHAN29. I follow her channel. Recently just started following her, like literally a couple of days ago. Cause I like what she has to say, and you'll probably see me do a lot more reactions to her videos. Cause she's very energetic, very charismatic. You know what I'm saying? So I just like listening to people who are very charismatic on YouTube. Actually, if I like them, I just follow them and just react to their stuff. Cause I want them to get out there even more than what they are. Even though she's pretty big, she's a pretty big YouTuber considered to most people. But if you see her subscriber count, but it's at 20 plus thousand subscribers, so she's pretty big. So anyway, we're gonna get into this reaction. Let's see what she says about comics overpriced. But remember to follow me in the freemium places: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Freemium places you're gonna find your boy. Thumbs the video up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, become a legacy. Press the notification bell. When the next video drops, you're gonna know about it straight away. And check the description box below. There's about a Patreon and a PayPal, and if you wanna donate further, feel free to do so. If you don't, that's okay too. And remember to put your comments in the comment section down below. Always put your comments down there. I just want to see what you guys are thinking about my product and what we're reacting to, and just stuff in general. Put stuff down there just what you want me to react to or review. Hey, Lego, let's do it.
Money. The one thing I don't have.
Let's turn this up.
Comic book prices. So, they're high, aren't they? Let me tell you something. Went comic book shopping yesterday, bought 3 floppy issues, almost $20. Now some of you might be thinking, DANNPHAN, are you f***ing nuts? Why did you spend that money? And some of you might be thinking, yeah, sounds about right. I never thought I'd live to see the day where there are $6 issues out there. Now the base price of all comics is $4. Even sometimes if you get it digitally, it's $4, which makes no sense because it costs them nothing to upload it digitally and have you read it digitally. It costs them nothing. $4. Now, why is the base comic price now $4? Yes, comics are more expensive to make now than they would be, like, say, 50 years ago. If it costs you $1.50 per comic book and you sell it for $3, that makes sense, right? Because you're making double of what you paid to make the book. And of course, you also put advertisements in your comic books, so you make money off of those ads also. So all of that cut and dry seems to make sense why comics would be over $3, right? But it only costs you that amount of money if you're only printing maybe 6,000 or so copies. It actually costs less per book when you print more copies, because once you leave the machine running, at some point you're just paying for the paper and the ink. So if you were printing around like 10,000 copies, it would maybe cost you 40 cents per issue. Big difference. Printing less copies now, which increases their price, which increases the price that they have to sell it for. And of course, even if there was high demand for a book or a particular series, do you really think that they would suddenly lower the price for that series? No, they would increase it, because they want to take advantage of the higher demand.
Exactly.
You figure if you're willing to pay this much for these crappy issues that nobody wants, then of course you'll be able to pay a little bit more for an issue that somebody actually does want. But of course the problem with making comic books just generally expensive from here on out is the fact that new readers can't really jump on the bandwagon. You're cutting out your future audience. Your future audience is kids. Kids can't afford $4 comics. Now, way back when kids had allowances and they were buying comic books along with chewing gum,
that was me.
It was a lot easier.
Back in the day.
Comic books do not cost the same amount as chewing gum does now, unless you're buying some expensive Orbit shit. That doesn't mean that you're cutting out everyone of the industry entirely in one sweep, but you're decreasing the amount of comics that they buy. Like, if you're going to charge me $4 for one comic, maybe I'll just buy the first issue and then won't bother with the rest of the series. You see, something that I do, and a lot of you already know that I do this, but I read stuff online first. For free. Don't tell the feds, they'll lock me up. And then if
everyone does that. We just call it for free, then check out the issue there, see if it's good, then they might buy it.
Like it, I go out and buy it. You see, I feel like I should know that I like something before I own it, because it is so difficult to get rid of something that you don't want.
Exactly.
And yes, I could technically go back to the comic book store and try to refund it, but I don't want to be that guy. And I feel like a lot of people pirate comic books. A lot of people pirate anime, a lot of people pirate movies. It's just common. And the main reason why people go online and they watch or read this stuff for free is because it's not convenient for them to buy it. It's too expensive, or they can't find it in the stores. If people have the opportunity to read your book without giving too much, they'll read your book. It's like, that's the main basis for Free Comic Book Day. You're giving out these stories for free, so of course people are going to read them. It's free. They have the opportunity. I would actually argue that Free Comic Book Day is one of the only things that's helping keep the comic book industry alive, because at least it's giving people opportunity to be turned on to these new series. It's like recycling. If it's easy for people to put their recyclables in a can and then leave it at their front yard and somebody will pick it up, then it's like, yeah, of course I'll recycle. That's so simple, right? But if I have to bag all my recyclables, drive, and then pay someone per bag to take my recyclables so that they can make money off of my recyclables, I'm not going to do that. I would argue it's actually easier to get into manga than it is to get into comics. And
yeah, it's way easier to get into manga than comics now. Yeah, it's facts.
The reasons I would argue that is because manga, it offers more. Like, you get a pretty thick first issue of manga. Maybe it's like
comic books, no comic books like this thick.
It's always printed the same, right? It's always the same cover. It's always the same paper on the inside. It's always black and white. It's always $10. Maybe, maybe if you get a fancy manga, or if you buy your manga at Barnes & Noble, it's more expensive there. Maybe it'll be like $11 to $13. But for the most part, manga is always $10. It's always simple, easy to get, and you get more for your money. Not to mention, manga is easier to recycle in a way. Not literally recycle. But if you donate your manga to a library, it's easier for them to put the manga on the shelves than it is for them to put the floppies on the shelves. Because floppies are going to eventually just tear apart if you don't take care of them, right? They'll eventually just be trash, while manga will hold itself together a lot better. One of the other things that's helping keep the comic book industry still afloat is the fact that we have crowdfunded books now, but that doesn't really help with the pricing problem. Because the idea of crowdfunded books is you get an increase in quality, you get more stuff for your money, but it's going to be more money than just going to the comic book store and buying it in the store. And the main reason why it's more money is because not only are you paying for the book, you're paying to have it being made. You're paying all the artists, the writers, and the whole shebang. And I think Alternate Comics has something really good going on with the newsprint printing, because you're able to bring down that price by a lot. And you actually make comics that kids can afford, and they have a lot of different kids comics and a lot of horror comics as well. I wish more people knew about Alternate Comics, and I wish more stores carried Alternate Comics for this reason. The more variety that Alternate has, the more happier I will be. Now, me personally on this whole thing, I'm willing to spend $3 for a comic. Maybe I'm willing to spend $4 for a comic. $5, you're pushing it. $6, you are raping my wallet. But what do you think about comic book prices? Will they get lower as time goes on, or will they get more expensive and eventually crumble the entire industry? How much are you willing to spend for comic books personally? Tell me down below in the comments. Leave a like on the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Good video, good video. Depending on what she's willing to spend, how much of a fan you are, to be fair, but what she said about the manga being more value, she has a point there. Japanese books are just so thick. It's like you're reading a book. That's basically what you're reading. You're reading a book than an actual comic, to be fair. In mangas, so that's why people are willing to spend more money on a manga than an actual comic book. Plus, the comic books take up so much space. I've noticed that as well. That's another thing as well. A comic book, to me, takes up so much space, and it's so thin, and you have to take so much care of it that it feels like it's a waste of money to me. That's what I always felt like. I'm like, oh, if I buy a little thin comic book, I'll go to a comic shop. I got something called Forbidden Planet where I live. Here in the UK, anyone knows about Forbidden Planet here in the UK knows exactly what I'm talking about. You got these thin comic. I'm looking at these thin comic books, and I'm like, okay, looks cool. The plot looks pretty good. I'm like, I won't buy it though. Not for that kind of price they're selling at. I'm like, nah. It's like for starting, it looks, and it feels so flimsy as well. You feel like if you're gonna tear it, as soon as you look at it, you're like, oh snap, I'm gonna bend the page here. And I'm a person I don't like bending anything. I don't like it. I don't like even feeling something that looks like it's gonna tear. I don't like touching it. It feels so fragile, and you're like, oh, I'm not spending that kind of money on that. I'm not spending on a manga book that feels like an actual book where you don't feel like you have to baby it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think comic books are overpriced now, especially for the content that's in it now. It hasn't evolved from the days for like the little thin comic books where it was actually so cheap, and it felt cheap. You know what I'm saying? But you have good stories. Obviously, there's good stories in them. People, good creators, good writers. But the book feels cheap. It feels cheap when you hold it. So that's the only problem with the comic books nowadays. For the price you're paying, and for the quality that you're actually picking up at, it's like, nah, it's not worth it to me. But I want to hear what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Put it in the comment section, right? Type down what you guys think about this story and just comic books in general. Do you think it's overpriced? Do you think the price is okay? What do you think? Do you prefer manga over comic books? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I always want to know what you guys are thinking. So, remember to follow me in the 3 main places: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. 3 main places are underneath me, or below. Thumbs the video up, as you can see the thumb over there, the bottom of the screen. So, subscribe to the channel, become part of the legacy. Share the video with everyone you know, everyone you don't. I press that notification bell. My next video drops, you're going to know about it. And remember to check the description as well. Description box down below. Patreon, PayPal, boom. Okay, so also check me out next video. Okay, so remember to stay safe wherever you are, day or night. I hear in these streets. It's Legend 101 signing out. Peace.